Welcome to the Geeks for the Win podcast, the podcast where we talk about our week as geeks. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
And it's our once a month podcast.
Yeah. Definitely.
At least I think so far, it feels like.
Yeah. Whether due to technical issues or...
Yeah. Hopefully we can do more than once this month. We'll see. It is the start of the month, so
fingers crossed.
Yes. What have you been up to, Stuart? What do you...
Let's start with something I've been playing. And that is... It's an older game that just got a remake, and that was actually it was a remake, not a remaster. Looking to see when it was originally came out. It came out in 2006 originally, and the remaster of Persona 3 just came out. Persona 3 Reload. And it is a true remaster, as then they updated the graphics and they've updated the gameplay. Because I've tried to play Persona 3 in the past, and I just couldn't, because it had a mechanic that I absolutely hated. And that was the fact that it's a turn-based RPG where you cannot control what your other party members do. They're controlled by the AI. And they were not dumb, so that was fine, but I want that control. Like I want to be able to do, actually, like, decide, like, okay, no, this monster's weak to this attack. I'm going to use, lightning attack on this guy. I want to make that choice. Well, in Persona 3, originally, you didn't have that option. Now, in Reload, you do. Along with a lot of the other things that a lot of mechanics that they brought in with Persona 5. That they've kind of redone a little bit. Like, there was a thing in Persona 5 called a baton pass, where, like, if you hit an enemy's weakness, and like knocked him down, you another character could jump in and like do like an attack, and it was just automatic. Like, oh, they're knocked down. Okay, I'm gonna went in and bonk them on the head. All right, cool. Well, in this one, I forget what it's called now, but you can do something. Oh, it's called a shift. Where actually you just switch to that character now, and it's not automatic now. You just now, okay, I hit this character because he's weak to lightning, and then I'm gonna shift over to this guy because the other enemy over there is weak to fire. So, knock them all down, and then do an all out, just pile on attack, and all out, and just quickly get the battle done. So, and it's really good. Like a game that I wanted to play, but just I couldn't get past the one mechanic that just made me not want to play the game.
It's
Now
on Game Pass, right?
it is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And this is the one that I remember back in the day, there was controversy around it because how you summon your personas is you take a gun-like object and the characters put it to their heads and fire. So
I think I remember you talking about that. Like, yeah, in the past.
yeah, it's definitely something that people latch onto, definitely. And it's a whole different cast doing the voices too. It's not even the same cast, which a lot of people don't like, but I'm okay with because I didn't really get attached to the old cast. And I'm pretty sure that one of the actors was Vic Mignogna, which he's got problems at the moment. Yeah, that's who that was. He, you know the story behind him, right?
I don't.
He was the voice of Ed on Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh. And there's issues?
He got accused of grooming.
Oh.
Yeah, by like multiple people.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of things too.
Yeah. Like he got let go from Funimation. Like this was a while ago.
Yeah.
So
not a lot of companies will keep you around if
nope.
Only DC will. Until your movie doesn't do well.
Even then. Even then. But yeah, Persona 3 Reload, like, and each Persona game is its own standalone story, just like the Final Fantasy games. So, like, if you've ever played a Persona game, you can totally start with 3, you can start with 5, you can start with 4. Doesn't matter.
Oh, they are. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Like there's little Easter eggs that definitely, like, oh, if you know, you know. But it doesn't hurt the story at all. They all do take place in the same world. So like there is, like, I don't think any characters actually do come apart from the Velvet Room. Like that's the only thing that's in every game, and Igor. He's in every game, but it's different every single time. So if you like, the Pokemon style game, because Persona, you don't capture them, and it's different in every game how it's done. And this one is like you get choices like a card, like cards kind of pop up, and you pick your reward. Sometimes it's extra gold, sometimes it's extra XP, a skill, or a new persona you can use. So
Let
I
me give this a try.
really like the Persona games, and they're really good.
Wonder what's the system requirements for it. Let's see.
I would be surprised if you could not run it, because I don't think it requires a whole lot.
Does Game Pass say that?
I
know
think
they
it
have
does
like
if you scroll
how
down.
long to beat, but
Yeah, I think it's.
uh,
I'm pulling it up now.
more. Yeah, here we go. More. Oh, I'll be able to play the. Okay, I had no thoughts I couldn't play this on my computer. It was
Yeah.
just whether or not I could play this on my Legion Go.
Nope. Yeah, I think you totally can.
It looks like I could. Yeah.
Yeah, like it is an
I love
old
my
game that has
Legion Go.
been remastered, but it's still it's still not a system hog.
Yeah.
And I will say the thing that I've loved about Persona 4 and 5 was the music was absolutely amazing. Like I would listen to those soundtracks outside of the game, like in the car. Like I even still listen to the Persona 5 soundtrack from time to time. Persona 3 music just isn't grabbing me. I know I know some people it does. It's just not, it doesn't grab me. But because of the popularity of Persona 5, they're like, okay, we're going to throw in a bunch of Persona 5 stuff in this, like the music. So like if you want to like change the background music to Persona 5 music, you can, even though it totally does not match the vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for more and more things to play on my Legion Go. Game Pass has some good stuff. Like they even have a category that's where is it? I think it's like games under a gig or 1 gig or under. And it's
Sure.
like, oh, that is awesome. Like load up on it because those are games that are not like graphic intense,
Right.
even though this, I'm able to play some games that are, you know, I'm able to play some of the bigger known games, but still, like, it's good to be able to load up a bunch of stuff and have a library. Game Pass, oh, man, I love Game Pass. It's so good. I saw the Black Ops 2 got like an update. So, and a lot of people are speculating that means it might be the first Call of Duty game to come to Game Pass.
Maybe there's
Okay.
the remake.
Is there a Black Ops 2 remake?
I think there is.
No, I think it got an update, like, or just the regular, like Black Ops 2 got an update after so many years. And that's why people were speculating. Oh, make. I don't think they've remade the Black Ops games. I think it's
I
just been
thought there
Modern
was
Warfare.
a Black Ops 2 remake. Okay, there's rumors of a remaster for next year.
2 and not 1?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm here for it because I'd love to play the zombies again. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 zombies were so amazing. I think 2 had it was a DLC. It was DLC, but it was the one where it had Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, who was Freddy Krueger, and Danny Trejo, and someone else. I can't remember the fourth person, but like they were the survivors. It was like and Romero was the big boss.
Right.
Yeah, it was like the first one they did with celebrities or famous people as the survivors, and it
Yeah,
was such a fun map.
I kind of remember that now.
Yeah, boy, zombies for Black Ops 1 and 2 were so good.
A lot
There's
less
part of me that
complicated than they became.
oh yeah, and there's part of me that's like can't wait, hoping that like the old Call of Duty games come to Game Pass, because like I'd love to be able to play those back through those again.
I would be surprised if it did. Honestly, I would. Like I think from like 2009 or 2019 on, I can totally see like anything before that, I'd be surprised.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying I'd be surprised.
We'll definitely probably check that Persona 3 out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Reloaded?
Reload.
Reload. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of times I typed in reloaded too. But no, it's definitely good.
Feels like Xbox the last couple years they've been getting the Japanese like titles. But I guess they still can't like tap that market, you know.
Yeah. There's rumor of Game Pass coming to PlayStation, which I think that might help.
Oh yeah, I mean there's rumors that like that Microsoft's gonna go full third party everything. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not quite sure that's gonna be the case, but
I can totally see them becoming, not really a console developer, but more like an EA or a Epic, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
All right. What about you? What have you been doing?
Well, since we last talked, there was a big NBA All-Star weekend in your neck of the woods that happened.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. It happened in Indianapolis.
That was the weekend of the huge snowstorm, I think.
Yeah, I think it's because I remember like I think it was Saturday night, they were like, "Oh, we just got a fresh blanket of snow for the All-Star weekend and whatever." But I think it was supposed to. I think All-Star weekend was supposed to happen in 2020, the year COVID, when COVID happened, but like something it couldn't, or there's some reason. So I think this was like to make up for that. But boy, All-Star weekend, the press had a field day with NBA All-Star weekend. There was a lot of issues.
I say good or bad?
There was a lot of issues.
Okay.
The first night was, I think there was a celebrity game, which I didn't watch because I don't care. I don't care about the celebrities playing basketball, But there was also the Rising Stars, which is like the, I think year one rookies and year two. They had a weird thing where they had 4 people. They were coaches where they of teams, and they did a draft of the rookie pool, the year one and year twos.
Okay.
It was good because our two best players, we had the Oklahoma City Thunder had 3 rookies, year one and year two players participating, but our 2 best ones were drafted in the same team, so it was, it was good to see. It was, it was good to be able to watch because I was able to root for that team, which they ended up winning, so that was great. But yeah, it was weird because one a soundbite came out because one was a former player, Pau Gasol, and when he was drafting the players, he mispronounced one of the players' names, and he's a Spanish speaking. He's probably one of the most famous Spanish speaking players, Pau Gasol. And he called the player Jamie Jaquez
Okay.
when it was Jaime Jaquez. And that went around. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, wow." That shows you how like in tune with things Pau Gasol is, If and apparently, and it's not like, it's not like it's an obscure player. It's like a pretty good, you know, rising star rookie player in the league. So like but they did a draft and they had like a tournament where it was like 2-on-2, and then the winners of that went on to, you know, to play in the finals. And they had one team that was all G League players, which is like the minor leagues, but they're associated with the NBA because like they have two-way players where, the NBA they can bring the two-way players up to, and play, or they can send players to the G League to like get experience if they're not going to be able to, actually get minutes, not get as much minutes. They can send like their rookies and stuff to the G League. But they had a whole team that was just G League players. And it's like they ended up beating one of the teams. They went to the
Awesome.
finals, which it's like that's embarrassing.
Awesome. Yes.
Luckily, like I said, the team that had my two or the 2 Thunder players. Hey, you two play nice. My 2 dogs were fighting for a second. I don't know if you heard that or not.
No.
Thank you, RTX voice, I guess. But yeah, that was kind of embarrassing that the G League, they had a G League team that like just crushed one of the team of NBA players. They did have a cool like system because I think it was first to either 40 or 50. I can't remember which, but like, so that made it to where there was a game winner, like game winner shot. So that was kind of cool. That the system of how like the actual game took place,
Okay.
like because one of the Thunder's rookies, he had the game winning shot in the finals to win it all, and it was like that's kind of cool. But that was Friday night. Saturday night was like, was it the Rising Stars, or not the Rising Stars, the Skill Challenge, which is like a team thing where they had like, oh, it's a team, it's an Indiana team, and since it was hosted in Indiana, they went heavy on Indiana this, Indiana that, despite like it making sense.
Yeah.
I'll elaborate on that a little later. Um, but they had like it was like three players. They had like uh the Indiana team, which is like three their best players, and then they had like the or the first team where it was three first round draft picks in like the last 3 years, I think, and then some other team or whatever, and it's a stupid thing where it's like an obstacle course where they have to like dribble through stuff and throw a ball through like a basically a tire,
Okay.
but like they have it's what would be the equivalent of like a through a tire and all this weird stuff, and it's like what th- this doesn't make any sense. But I was half watching that. um they had the 3-point contest where it's like they have racks of balls throughout or all around the 3-point line, and they had like different balls worth different points, and then they had the starry balls because I guess Starry sponsors the NBA now or whatever. The
God, I miss Sierra Mist. Like,
I do too, because like Sierra Mist didn't it tasted fresher because it wasn't made with corn syrup. It was actually made with sugar cane. I
it
don't think a lot of people realize that.
it
It
actually
actually
was good. It tasted good. Starry does not.
Yeah. See, they just had a huge mishap with whole Sierra Mist, because they like renamed it to Mist Twist for a while, and then they named it back to Sierra Mist. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, I don't know if how true this is, but it was on TikTok. Somebody is named Sierra Mist.
Oh, I saw
Like,
that. That's dumb.
I
That's
like
yeah.
it's a lawsuit. I'm like, I don't think so.
Her name isn't even spelled the same though.
No, but it said
Her
the
name's
same.
spelled with a
C,
C.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how well I believe that.
It's not, because like I said, they changed the formula of it.
No, yeah, they did.
Because Starry is now with high fructose corn syrup when Sierra Mist had actual sugar in it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Sierra Mist. But
That was I.
yeah. But now, yeah, they have the Starry Ball, which is worth more because, of course, they're paying for it. So, but that was interesting. They had some good players shooting threes, and they actually had a tie in the first round of it, so they had to have they had to have three players do a whole new round, which you know whatever. But then they had the dunk contest.
No,
Stewart,
no.
no, just they. I mean, how many? It's not original to dunk over Shaq anymore. It's been done before,
Sure, yeah, it
and
has.
some of these people, and like there was an Oklahoma City player who was in the dunk contest a few years ago. He dunked over Shaq, and I think he was one of the first people to, and it was great. It was impressive. In but when you have to have Shaq like lean his head down to get rid of
And
like a
duck.
foot,
Yeah,
yeah, to duck, and then you have the players like end up like touching his shoulder to like kind of give them a boost, or it's like that's not impressive.
no,
Where like the Thunder player a few years ago, he won the dunk contest, and one of his dunks was over Shaq, and he just it was straight over Shaq. Like none of that like having to duck or touching his shoulder to get that push off or whatever. But like that happened here where you know you had Shaq ducking, and it's like, okay, you're At this point, you're just having Shaq out there to be Shaq, not because it's a tall thing to dunk over.
Yeah.
Um, and like they had a bunch of, I think they had a bunch of Indiana people for the judges, like famous people from or in the league from Indiana, whatever, historical, whatever. They didn't know how to judge because their judging was there was booing like from the crowd because like I guess at first they were judging they were penalizing people for because I think you get a couple tries, you get like a minute I think to do it. But you're only supposed in the dunk contest. You're only supposed to once the dunk actually goes in, that's what you're supposed to judge, and that's how it's like always been.
Right.
Like you don't penalize if you don't get it done the first try. And the first few times that happened, the judges like penalized the dunker for it when the dunk was kind of cool. And they just can't get stars to do the dunk contest. Like it's embarrassing, Stewart. Last year, a G Leaguer won. This year, he went back to back and won again.
Okay.
And it's just like, oh my God. Like, granted, it's not his fault. He's a good dunker. He's a shorter, breaking the mold. White boy can't jump. Yes, white boy can. Because he's not he's a shorter like white player. So like he's got some hops for sure. I think he ended up dunking over Shaq, and he did it the right way. Like, and there was something else to it. I think but he had some good dunks, but like
Yeah, I'm watching some highlights of it now. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, yeah, that dude totally hit Shaq in the head.
and Shaq even like had to bend over like or duck his head. Like, yeah, it's just like really like.
Okay,
But
what was the floor actually like that, or is that just camera?
no, they had like a crazy LED light floor thing that was going on.
That's
And
distracting.
yeah, it was, and the people, the people who were there, like the media people that I listened to on different podcasts, were talking about how like it was not great. It was not a good time. Like
Was it like that during the actual game?
not as much, but there
Okay.
was like they did do gimmicky stuff where they like changed the court to like like oh this player is on the court, so or so we're gonna or I can't remember the I think for the dunk contest they had like one of the players they had like they imposed like the Mexico flag on the court and all kinds of weird like they're just like oh this is our new gimmick we're gonna do, and the media did not like it.
I feel
We
like
were there
it'd be
live.
distracting as hell to the players.
Yeah, but oh, there was one player who did a dunk with his left hand, and he put a glove on his left hand because apparent and the announcers had to like go into detail and explain this because like apparently he gets criticized because he can't like shoot with his left hand or do something with his left hand and I'm just like if you have to go into that kind of detailed explanation on why this dunk is good, it's not good.
Or that dude's
Like
not famous enough for people to know that.
yeah. It's just like, and it's like, okay, he did a left-handed dunk with a glove on his hand. Whoop-de-doo. Like it's bad. Yeah. They need to they really need to either it's getting to the point where the media is talking about like should they just get rid of All-Star Weekend? And I'm like, no. I like what All-Star Weekend is supposed to be, you know. It's supposed to be a fun weekend of like seeing,
Yeah.
you know, crazy cool dunks, seeing how many three pointers some of the best shooters and you know can make, seeing the rookies have their own all-star game, you know, and then seeing the best in the league, the all-stars, you know, get to play. And yeah, the dunk contest was always my favorite. Like, and it was just like I've seen our players do dunks in game better than some of these dunks in the dunk contest, which is pretty bad. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's yeah. When you have the crowd booing because the judges were like their scores were so inconsistent and just and they were trying that. Here's conspiracy talk, Stuart. Like a lot of people were thinking the reason some of the scores were the way they were was because they were trying to give the award to one of the NBA players and not have the G Leaguer win it again.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's like they just couldn't do it because Matt McClung, the guy in the G League, he was just too good. He was
I
better than.
think I think that was who I just saw dunk. Cause I'm still watching the highlight.
Oh, he's the smaller white guy.
Yeah, there was another white guy.
Was there?
There was
I thought there was only one
there was a couple white guys.
in this year's.
There's been a couple white guys. Yeah.
Let me see who was in the dunk contest. Maybe I just forgot some, just because it was that bad.
That okay? No. Okay. They're because I don't know players, so they do multiple dunks.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. They have like two dunks, and then they have two. They do like two dunk. I think it was two dunks in the first wave of vote, and then they they add the votes up for those two dunks, and then they go on to the last the last round of dunks. Yeah, okay. I was about to say I thought there was only one white guy.
Well, that
Oh,
that Mexican guy is pretty white.
which one?
That Mexican guy you were talking about,
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's pretty white.
Um, then they had one guy go up, and he had one of his teammates, like, I think it was Jalen Brown, the big guy, the big name, you know, he's kind of big, but he's not like
Literally,
LeBron or
who just came up on the highlight.
yeah, he's like the biggest he's the biggest name this year in the dunk contest. Um, he had one of his teammates come up and like do the whole like, oh, I'm gonna toss you the ball, but his teammate like had this big like fur coat, and it's like that got in the way, you
That's
know, of his passing.
literally the dunk you were just describing is the one I just watched.
Okay, yeah, yeah, and then and he messed up like the first pass, and like the announcers are like, shouldn't you like take the coat off? Like, can't you like your coat's getting in the way? Like, yeah, it's bad when a G League player wins back to back the NBA All Star Dunk Contest. Because there are good dunkers out there in the NBA. They just I guess they're not incentivizing them enough to
Say, Alec, why
participate.
is there a reason why they wouldn't want to?
Like, I guess maybe it's just not worth it. Like there's not enough money behind it, for them to do it. The
Like
risk versus reward of them maybe messing up, the fear of them messing up on national television or something. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, there's definitely they're not reaching out to certain people because there's definitely a couple Thunder people who could. There was one Thunder. There's a Thunder person who was in the Rising Star second year player who definitely could do better than some of these people who were in the dunk contest this year for sure. But then they had I think that the finale to was it the finale? I can't remember the order, but one of the big things for Saturday night was uh, Steph Curry versus Sabrina something, WNBA player, I think,
okay,
who's apparently like I can't
I
remember what.
wouldn't begin to know how to pronounce her name.
Yeah, Steph versus Sabrina. Apparently, she like is really a really good shooter, and like she like I think for the WNBA All Star or whatever, she like made the record of the most three shot or something crazy, and so they had this big thing where it was like her versus Steph. Steph Curry is like the best shooter in NBA history. Like I don't like him, but I'm not dumb to say he's not the best 3-point shooter. You know, like that's just facts. Like,
Sure.
he has the most, and he's just consistent and stuff like that. And but so they had him versus Sabrina, where she got to use the WNBA ball, which is smaller, but she was shot through from the NBA line, which apparently I guess the WNBA has a shorter, smaller line.
Of course they do.
Where oh boy, one of the announcers, oh boy, the announcers were one of them was like, "Oh man, it's not fair. She should be able to shoot through. She should be able to shoot from the WNBA line and all this." And the other announcers like, don't put like limits on her. She's doing great, And it's just like, it was like, oh boy, this is not a good look for this is not a good conversation you want to have, like.
Not on air.
No, it was one of those things. But she scored she scored better than most of the players in the actual 3-point shooter or 3-point shooting contest. Like I think that one of the most of the like for she did like a score of 26, between all the balls or whatever, which is that's pretty good. But and that was like basically what got that was basically the highest that all the other players in the actual NBA 3-point shooting contest scored. I think only one player scored higher than a 26. And it was like, yeah, she didn't need to shoot from the WNBA line because she did just as good as most of the men in, you know. So that was kind of a cool thing, but like, and they both did it for charity. They both had money for, it was a charity thing, so that was cool. But yeah, they that lot of G League, a lot of I think they're gonna try to include more WNBA stuff in the future. I feel like
Sure.
because there's another player, Caitlin something. I think she's in college right now.
I have actually heard of her.
Yeah, she's probably gonna be in the doing something on All Star Weekend next year. Like it might be her, Sabrina, Steph, and someone else. Like they may do a thing like that, because she's doing big in college right now. I don't know how I know like some of the things I know. It's just like I don't watch college basketball, but I know especially
I
women's college. But
I heard of her on TikTok.
okay. I guess it's just one of those like things you from osmosis, like
Sure,
since I
you heard it somewhere, but you're not sure where you heard it.
some NBA journalist probably on some podcast probably brought it up, mentioned it,
Yeah.
Um but hold on. I think my headset turned off. It's not dead. Okay. And then the last night, the regular All-Star game, where it's the fans vote for the starters, which our best player, who's MVP caliber, he's the front runner. It looks like for MVP of the league. He got his first vote for All-Star, and then the fans vote, and then I think the fans are like a certain amount of votes, and I don't think he won. I don't think he got. I don't think he won based off the fan votes necessarily. I think he was placed either second or third out of the two spots, and then the players are the remaining voters. And the players voted. Basically, he was number one from the players' vote, which kind of is a bit more like respect, like the fellow players think you're an all-star, kind of means a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but he was there, he was good. And then the reserves I think the coaches vote on the reserve players. I don't know why they change it up, but they went back to East versus West. The last few years, they've done a like draft pool where they had like it was LeBron and whoever else in the other conference, where they like drafted their teams, and I don't think people like that at all. Because
Sounds like schoolyard ball. Like I pick you and you and you.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. But like the league is divided into East versus West, and that's been how it is for the most. Like
Right.
All-Star
That's how other sports do their pro games.
Yeah.
All-Star games like Pro Bowl, and I forget what hockey's is called, but
Yeah. See, the NBA, they're not afraid to try new things and try to change, especially with the commissioner right now, Adam Silver. He's not afraid to try new things and to try to freshen things up. Which I think other sports could definitely benefit that kind of that kind of mind frame. But the All-Star game was out. Just it was horrible, Stuart. Like it's known for not a lot of defense typically.
mm-hmm.
But like this was the worst I've ever seen it. Like typically like I was seeing the and it's not like it's not how do I say this? It's not a stretch to say the West has better players than the East.
Okay.
That's just how it is, and that's how it has been for like I don't for such a long time, Stuart. Like the team, the for whatever reason, the teams in the West are always have always like it for the last at least 10, 15 years. That's just how it's been. The West has just been, a much harder conference than the East, because the players, and it's gotten even, it's got LeBron's in the West now. LeBron was in the East for the longest time, so that's just like, so, the West has even gotten better, but like the players in the West just were not even trying as far as like defense. Like they just like look at people like running by and shooting, or running by and lay, or or stand in front of someone and see them shoot, and not even like hold their hand up and try to like hold their hand, wave their hand in their face, or even just not the the bare minimum of defense, Stuart.
It's a game that doesn't matter, and the finals hasn't gone on, right?
Oh no, no.
So like you don't want to get hurt.
And I get that,
And
and that's why I
that's the
said
problem with
that's why I
the
said defense hasn't always been, or usually isn't a thing, but this was just gross. Like this year's was just gross compared to the past, and I feel like they're not, the money incentive for the winning team isn't enough players, because these are the best of the best. These are people getting 40-50 million a year,
right.
and it's like, oh, you're gonna give me $100,000 if I win? Like that seems like a lot to us, but that's nothing to
That's
them.
that's Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's just like I've heard one person, I've heard people say like maybe an incentive to try, to have some sense of effort, would be to give the winning conference home court advantage in the finals.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's good. I kind of like that. You're not going to see them go like, hardcore defense or anything, but you'll see some amount of, like what it was before. Like it was just so bad, Stuart. There was no, like, this was this broke the record for the most scored in an all-star game, because like the players in the West just were not doing any defense at all. Like the East scored over 200 points.
Damn.
Like I say, it was gross, Stuart. Like just they just were they were just walking, they were just standing there and just seeing people run by and do layups, or like there's just no like no amount of defense at all. It was just, it was bad. um and like I said, like it's just, it's it was not fun, and the media definitely agrees with me, with my thoughts, and I'm sure the average NBA fan probably has the same thoughts, as me. Like,
Oh, I'm sure. Like I don't watch football, but I definitely hear a lot about football. Um, and the biggest complaint with like the Pro Bowl game is like you know players don't want to get hurt for just a fun game. So like it's
well, the Pro Bowl is
people
after,
don't
right?
try. But it's right before.
Oh,
It's
is it
literally
right before?
the weekend before.
Okay. Yeah, the the playoffs aren't until like end of April. So like there's still a long time, like from the All-Star game to, and it's like, I get it. I get not wanting to get hurt, but like you could still like stand in front of someone and hold out your hand to like kind of,
Sure.
block their view a little, And that doesn't sound like that sounds funny, like, I guess, Stuart, but like that's a legitimate like defense like strategy, is to like,
Sure.
if you've got a long reach, you can hold, and try to obscure their view, and to be able to, shoot, and or at least stand in front of someone and not just have them run past you, like, and just turn and look and watch them like run past you, like, you're a deer in headlights, like, especially since these are like the best of the best. I'm, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting playoff like level defense, but like,
Right.
something,
Okay. I'm watching
pick
the
up pick up pick up ball defense.
I'm watching the highlights, and I just saw a dude like schoolball rules, like hit, like throw in off the back of a opposing player. Does that like to check in the ball? Is that actually allowed?
No,
They totally
you
did
can
that.
you can well if you're like trying to get a rebound, if you're trying to get the ball and it's going out of bounds, you can toss it off the person, so it, like, it hits their side, and technically they were the last ones to touch it, so your team gets possession of the ball. That's a thing.
No,
It's kind of dumb, like, but
I will show you what I'm talking about.
uh, full screen so I can see.
That right there.
No, that's them just
Okay.
having fun
I didn't
with,
think that was
yeah,
allowed, but
yeah. That was early on too. Wow. They would score 10 times that many points, just about. Yeah, it was not good. Like, to the point where, like, yeah, the media was, that whole following week, they were just like, should the All-Star game just go away? Like, dunk contest wasn't great. The skills challenge is just a joke. Like, what do like the obstacle course stuff, it's like, it's dumb. I don't get it, because, like, of course, dunking, you can see there's skill behind doing crazy fun dunks. There's skill behind shooting 3-pointers, or, you know, like, shooting from far, but like dribbling through, like it's basically just dribbling through traffic cones, tossing the ball through a tire swing,
Mhm.
and like, it's just fancy versions of that, like, stuff like that, and it's like, just what? And then, of course, like, seeing the rookies, the year 1 and year 2 players have their own like kind of all-star stuff. That's fun. But yeah, it's just like, it was not good, Stuart. And I feel bad for all the, and like I said, the crowd was booing a lot. Like, that's not good. Like,
No.
and most of it, and I feel bad for Indiana, because like, they had a bad one they were hosting. Like,
Yeah, well, it was cold outside. I'm gonna tell you that. It was cold outside.
yeah, they had some cool stuff around it. Like, I didn't get to see it. I need to look it up. They had a special where they had, like, I think it was Larry Bird, was it Reggie Smith? No, not Reggie Smith.
Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller. Yeah, I'm getting two players, two of the other TNT players mixed up. Because there's Kitty Smith and Reggie Miller. Okay. But yeah, Reggie Miller and then someone else. I think they had the special where they all three sat down because they're like the famous people of
Sure.
Indiana in the league, all that. And I'm like, I need to see where I can watch the VOD of that because that'd be fun to watch, you know. But like, yeah, it's pretty bad. Like it was not a good All-Star weekend, and you know, I I was able to watch it this year because it's like, oh, Max, now you can watch. It has NBA on TNT, so I can watch, you know, All-Star Weekend this year. That's great. Oh, this wasn't that great, but yeah, I hope they can improve it and get better because, as I mentioned, the Thunder, we're getting a brand new stadium in the next you know, in the next 5 or so years, and with that, it will probably be the opportunity to have an All-Star game, you know, or have All-Star Weekend hosted here,
That'd
and
be
that would
cool.
be really fun. Yeah, we're getting or the Oklahoma City's getting a new $1 billion like arena,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, which Oklahoma City has grown tremendously because of having the Oklahoma City Thunder here. Like it's amazing to see how much has changed and how much there is compared to before. You know, I think there's like just for an example, I think I s- I think I read there was like 3 major hotels downtown Oklahoma City, and now there's like dozens and dozens because you know like because you know business has expanded because of the Thunder being here, and therefore people are coming here for you know for traveling here for business and seeing and coming here for the games, coming here, and you know, so it's just been a huge boom on the economy of Oklahoma City. I don't live in Oklahoma City, by the way, but like,
Right, but
you know,
but
I live,
it's where the team is.
yeah, it's where the team is. So, I'm just as an outsider, as an outsider, but I have been to Oklahoma. I did go to Oklahoma City a lot before, the team and since the team, and I've seen the impact on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not just the impact on the city, it's the impact on the whole state, honestly.
Sure.
A lot of the media doesn't, they only talk about the city, but it's the whole state because before the Thunder, Oklahoma didn't have
Oh yeah, like
any professional sports team.
who's the media gonna talk about? Nobody.
College.
Yeah, college.
That's what it was. That's what we had. We had college. Either college football or college basketball. I was all about college basketball because, you know, and since the Thunder, I don't watch college basketball anymore. I'm not going to get excited about some great player who's only going to be playing for OU for 1 year because he's going to go to the NBA, the following year. Because you have to do 1 year of either like G. I think now you can go to the G for a year, but you have to do 1 year of college or like overseas one of their leagues, or there's restrictions. You can't just go out of from high school to anymore. I think they're getting rid of that soon though. But yeah. Anyways, that was. I had a lot to say about All Star Weekend, and
Sure. Yeah,
it
one.
was
I got one question before we actually leave basketball.
yeah.
When is that new ball going to be used? I keep seeing things about it where, and it's always somebody who's not a basketball player holding it and just holding a regular basketball and that new ball and then bouncing them. I've seen
Oh,
multiple
is it
people do that.
the ball that's supposed to be more sticky or something?
No, the
Or
the
what?
the the 3D printed ball.
Oh, let me see. Let me pull this up to see. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking. Yeah, that's a weird ball. I don't know.
Oh, have you not actually seen that ball?
I've seen it before. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I couldn't picture it until I saw the actual picture. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Yeah, I've seen that before, but like I don't know. Yeah.
Lately I've been seeing TikToks of like somebody who's obviously not a basketball player, like take a regular ball, bounce it, take that ball, bounce it, looks similar ish, and then
Yeah,
shock face,
that's
and that's the TikTok. I've seen multiple people doing that.
that's a big change. Even the slightest change to something like like the slightest change in the bounce or the feel is a huge thing for these players because they have muscle memory of how the ball feels, how what they need to, and they have, like I said, that there's some that are making 50 million a year, so they have a whole lot riding on, like, you know,
Yeah, didn't they change like the brand recently, and that threw players off?
I th- I think so, yeah. I think is it Wilson now, and it was sprawling before, or vice
That's
versa.
that's what I was. Yeah, those were the two brands I was thinking of.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of balls, there was a week where like where there was fiascos in a couple different games of like the game ball. Like there was a player who had like a 60-point game or whatever and wanted the game ball, but like the other team got the game ball and he was mad and was trying to grab it, and apparently there are two balls in the games, and like there was drama going on like in the league about like which game ball did they actually get and trying to get the game ball, and this happened like I think two different games that week where there was
Okay.
some weird thing. Yeah, it was like Ballgate, I think one of the media was joking and named it Ballgate because you know but yeah, it's yeah, changing the slightest changes can really make a difference, though. How it bounces, just the feel of it. Because some of the things these players do are just like, I don't understand how they can make some of these shots they make. The control they have, like to turn their body, like to turn their bodies and to shoot like in midair.
Mm-hmm.
Going sideways in midair, making weird, like it's just like, and then you see it in slow mo, and you're like, how is this possible? These these players are like, just there's a reason these people are making 50 million a year.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think I think athletes get paid way more than they should. Like it's outrageous how much they get paid.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Like just outrageous. But there's a reason they're the best of the best, regardless of the pay for being the best. But what else have you got?
Um, I think it was last time we recorded. I talked about a book that I was listening to called Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yes.
I have now listened to all 6 books, which is the where currently is, and I cannot wait for book 7 because the last 3 books in the like books 3, 4, and oh no, sorry, 4, 4, 5, and 6 just kept talking about what's going to happen on the 9th floor and just things setting up for the 9th floor, which is going to be book 7.
Ah,
Because like I said, last time, like it, Earth was basically flattened, not flat Earth style, but just like everything was squished, and the people who were not under anything, these stairs started appearing kind of all over the world, and it led down into a dungeon, and the dungeon is like 18 floors, but no planet has ever gone down past like the 13th floor, because this is all set up by an alien race, and it's all a game show, and there are sponsors, and all that kind of stuff, and talk shows that happen.
yeah.
I
will.
have you actually started?
I will say, new achievement. You've gotten William into Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
I'm on book 6.
Oh, you're on book 6. Okay.
I just started. That's all I've been doing this past week. Oh my god, it's such a good book.
It's a great series.
It's so good.
It really is.
Oh my god. My favorite character right now is Samantha. I'll kill your mother. Oh my god.
Samantha, the possessed severed head of a sex doll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So good, so funny. Like, man, I'm so glad for the audiobooks, because I was thinking about this. I'd be afraid to maybe lose that if I just read this, I wouldn't pick up some of the characters' personalities that I get from the narrators reading it.
The narrator for Dungeon Crawler Carl is amazing, because one, he does a ton of voices. Like,
oh yeah,
like most of those voices are all him. I didn't know it at first, but like Carl and Donut, it's the same dude. I wouldn't never have guessed that.
No.
Yeah, it's that one guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A majority of the voices are him. Like, I think the only time when it's not him are the little skits at the end of the book.
No, the skits are
No,
some of the skits are him.
Yeah, he's in it, but like that's when somebody else would also do a voice.
Like the sound engineer.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah.
But no, like
boy, those skits at the end though, those are great.
Those are
so fun,
really funny. Because like when I got to the end of the first book, I immediately thought, Will's gonna love this, because it's his favorite thing from Rick and Morty. It's the interdimensional
boy, and the references they make, like, just some of the references they make that, like, in the dungeon, like,
oh sure,
like one of the safe rooms in, I think, book 5, they were like, oh, and we went into a Whataburger, and I'm like,
yeah,
they're referencing Whataburger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whataburger, Arby's, like
Stone Cold Creamery.
You can do that in books that you cannot do in other media, because there's so many damn books. Who's gonna do,
Yeah, but I mean, like for Whataburger, for example, that's not a national chain. That's a regional chain. So, like, I was kind of surprised to hear that versus like an Arby's or a Stone Cold Creamery type stuff, which, but there's a few others where it's like, oh, that's a kind of that's a That's not a well-known reference. Like there's some people who may not get that reference that I got, stuff
Yeah.
like that I loved.
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple references. Like I know that's a reference, but I have no idea what it's to.
Yeah. I think the author might be from like Oklahoma, Texas, southern region, like because there were some of those like Whataburger and other things that I was like, oh, I get those, but I don't think like Stewart might,
I know what it is, but I've never been to one.
Yeah. But yeah, I've like been obsessed, and I've just been like, it's just been instead of watching TV at night, I've just been like bed petting my dog to Dungeon Crawler Carl like for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Just like it's so good. It's such a good series, and the story is the writing is just amazing. Like
Yes, I will say like Matt Denneman is really good.
the fact that like some of the things that can happen are just outrageous and crazy, and yet they make sense in the world, and how he makes them make sense, and how the characters can recover from some of the things that happen
Yeah.
is it's just a puzzle that fits together just perfectly.
You talking about just the things that happen. There's a moment in book 6. You're probably not there because it's towards the end where
Oh
it's
no, I
like,
just started book 6.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I finished book 5 today, and I
Okay.
was like, no, no, oh no. At the end of book 5, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm trying to think because like what
The
happened at the end of book?
crown.
Oh right, yes,
Yeah, that was a oh shit moment.
yeah. There is a plan in place, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next book because it's the next book that it comes that crown comes to like it's going to happen in the next book.
Yeah, and I like how I like how the cookbook is used.
Yeah,
How we get like entries from past players, and we get personalities, and he gets information that way. Like it's just there's so much good to this series, and I hate that. Like I think when I got to like book 3 or 4, I was looking like, okay, there's only 6. When does 7 come out? Like before I even got to finish with book 4, I was trying to look
yeah,
up, and I think he's released most of it on like Patreon. It looks like, or he's released a good amount. It seems on
yeah.
Patreon,
He does chapters on Patreon, I think. Um,
or at least I thought at the time. But like then I got to book 6, and there's like over 70 chapters in book 5, and there's only over 70 chapters in book 5. I'm like, oh Jesus, that's a lot of chapters. But some chapters are like short.
yeah,
Like I think that I've seen some chapters are like 3 minutes to read. Like, but man, this has gotten me. This has hooked me, Stuart.
yeah. It's actually opened me to a new genre of books that I didn't know existed,
Yeah,
and I love.
I'm trying to look for more at once I get caught up. Once I finish, excuse me. Once I finish book 6, I'm trying to like figure out what I'm gonna read next. Like
Well,
I'm trying to look for similar books.
I can tell you what I'm now listening to because I've moved on to a new lit or RPG series. It's called He Who Fights with Monsters.
Okay.
and there's
I
10
think I've come
books
across that.
in this series. At least so
Ooh,
far.
okay.
I don't know if they're currently still coming out, but there's 10 at the moment. And it is more of a straight up just, it's an isekai. Like, dude wakes up on a new world. He's got a menu system. He's got a map, party system, inventory, all that stuff. And it's just a straight up just isekai. And I'm liking it so far. Like it's not funny. Like there is funny moments, but it's not Dungeon Crawler Carl. Kind of.
God, I was having trouble not laughing. I was out today in public and listening while I was like in line at the store, stuff like that, and just on the bus, and I was just trying not to laugh at laugh hard out loud to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
There were
like,
definitely moments where I did.
Like pretty much anytime Samantha like talks, like I'm just like, oh, it's so good, I'll kill your mother. I'll just, it's like, it's so good. Just that line gets me every time.
And she says it all the damn time.
All the stuff. It never is not funny to me. I just it's because like it reminds me of Monty Python. Like
sure,
the Frenchman from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like, but like more intense. Oh, it's so, and it just like you said, behind the story behind her character, how she's the head of a sex doll that was possessed from,
by like a minor god, yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and it's just the way he's able to balance so many different characters.
Yeah,
is just impressive. Because like at first there's not that many. It's just like Carl and Donut, and then slowly over time, some of these characters he meets start to become more recurring characters.
Yeah.
To where like book 5, there's so many characters in book 5 that are like, being, that are part of like the overall team and part of their guild, right?
Yeah. There's a guild now. Yeah.
Oh my god! Just what happened at the end of book 5 with what's his name? I think his nickname's Pony, right? What he did?
Yeah.
What he did at the end of book 5? Oh my god, that was like, what?
Yeah, and yeah, that was like, for once it wasn't Carl, and everybody's blaming Carl.
Yeah, and it's
like,
funny too because it's funny because before all that, I guess minor spoilers, but before all that, the announcement was talking about, hey, we have a surprise. What would have been floor 7 is now going to be floor 8 because we were able to get what we wanted for floor 7 done in time.
Yeah.
And it's so the fact that they made that announcement and then so I guess it was an easy fix for them because they could just go back to what floor 7 was originally, gonna. But that was so good. And just some of the batshit crazy things in the book is just, man, there's some weird stuff going on in that man's head to come up with some of these ideas.
Well, from what I've heard, like a lot of stuff is actually coming from fans. Like a lot of
I did see in the Patreon
are actually voted by, like, what's in them are voted by fans.
I did see in the Patreon there was like stuff to vote on and whatever, and I'm not. I didn't look into to like if that's just the most recent books or if that's been like how it is throughout the entire series or
Yeah.
not. I haven't looked. I haven't looked into that, but yeah, I did see there was some voting and stuff, and so.
And apparently the foot fetish was originally going to
Oh
be
my
a throwaway
god!
joke, but the fans really
Yeah,
latched onto it, so he kept doing it.
boy, that's something. Like, as someone who's not a real fan of feet, yeah.
Yeah, Carl's
Oh
got have
man,
some nasty feet by this point. Like really.
yeah. Well, I mean, his feet are magic, so maybe not bad, right?
Yeah,
Maybe his
he's
magic
got that
protects it.
pedicure set. So
Pedicure set, yeah. So yeah, just that's just hilarious. But yeah, the AI is just great, and the reveal of like that it was a used AI.
a lot of stuff comes to head in book 6 with the AI.
Yeah. Like I said, I just started book 6. Like I just got past the part where they were going over Mordecai and his whole stuff
Mm, yeah,
because that was the beginning of book 6, right?
yeah. You
Yeah.
you kind of find out somewhat what happens between more
Yeah.
what happened with Mordecai and how he lost his brother
And Aldette.
and
Oh,
Odette and Chaco
Aldette
and
fucked him. Yeah.
yeah,
Poor Chaco. Like he was manipulated.
he was. Yeah, it was definitely not Chaco's fault at all.
Yeah. God, there's so many moments that were just like oh shit moments. Like the moment where he realized where he worships was Ember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Empress.
That whole moment.
Yeah,
Empress, yeah, it was just like, oh my god, what? Like just oh, it's so good. Like and are they I th- have they started on I think did either they are or or they're about to do like this whole sound booth things where they have like full cast.
yeah. That's
I think book 1
book 1 is out, I think.
yeah,
Because
which I'm curious.
I remember
I'm curious about that.
I mean from what I can tell, it's just like graphic audio.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing, and I like okay when I go back to this series because I'm gonna come back to the series at some point and read.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
Definitely.
I will pick up like the sound booth stuff.
Yeah, that's where I will definitely revisit it. Probably do another listen through when book 7 comes out. Whenever that is. To get familiar with things, but yeah. Yeah, the floor 9 has been like the it feels like everything's been leading up to floor 9
Yes,
ever since Donut put on that crown.
kinda.
Like cuz that's been that's been the one thing that's been like you know hanging over their heads throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
Is they can't get past floor 9 without killing everyone who's the right or who's part of the whatever. I'm just like there's just so much I want to talk about this. Carl going to Comic-Con.
that was funny.
So great.
God,
I what was it the train was it
it was book 3.
War 4
I was gonna ask about, did you follow what the fuck was going on? Because I was totally lost.
With regards to
Like I could not imagine what was going on with the iron tangle and like how it all worked. I was totally lost.
the floor for the train,
Yeah,
or the yeah, that kind of that kind of got me. Yeah,
I was
I
like, okay,
was,
I cannot imagine what the layout of this place is and how they're doing what they're doing. I'm just gonna
and then
go
their
with it.
explanation at the end was just like, so it makes a weird 3D image from the top down, but it's not quite like what?
There's a mirror on top of it, and yeah, it's like
Yeah, it was just like the little. Maybe I'll get it the second time. Maybe I'll pick up some things I didn't the second time. But yeah, that was definitely, and it just in comparison, it was a little lackluster. I felt like,
yeah, that was like, even though that was the introduction of Katya, was was pretty much in that book. I mean, she was introduced in the previous book, but she really came, as
yeah,
as a character um in book 3.
oh boy, and her moment at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a what the hell? Like unexpected.
As soon as it was like, and she sometimes doesn't go straight, I'm like, oh shit. With
Yeah.
her charge, I'm like, oh, it's not going where she wanted to go.
I didn't expect it to go. I thought it was gonna go like I thought she was gonna hit like maybe donut or something, you know? Like I didn't expect her to take out, you know, uh Hectia, or what's her name?
Hecla.
Hecla, yeah. Yeah, that was something. And the fact that like Carl still from where I am, he still hasn't killed a player is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just it's insane, you know. Oh, and then when he ripped the arm off of what's his name?
Oh, yeah. I want to say
That was a
something.
crazy
I want
moment.
to say something right now, but I can't.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happens in book 6.
Oh, I
I'm kind of
imagine
realizing like a lot
so.
of shit happens in book 6.
Yeah, because like in the what was it, floor 6, there was like no mention of what's his, I can't remember, can't remember his name, but yeah, the one he ripped the arm off. So I imagine he's gonna come back up in book. I imagined he would come back up in book 6, since there was no mention of him in like on floor 6.
Yeah.
Basically.
Or technically 7.
Yeah, yeah, technically 7. Um, but yeah, it's so good. I love how the Rock bodyguards are into video games.
Yes. Yes, they are.
It's so dumb but so good. Like it's like, oh, okay, Frogger, ha ha ha, and then it's like, oh, playing GTA, he's showing this character how to steal a car. I'm like, what? Okay, that's different. Oh, uh, Beatrice, when they revealed her.
I wanted I wanted a little bit more with her, because like
Yeah,
it was like there's not like I want to know her reactions to what Carl is doing. Like, because like,
I imagine they have to bring her back at some point.
yeah, they have to.
I I was shocked that, like, because I'm sure everyone thought that because they foreshadowed it, how she would come back. They would bring her back to be like a elite or a PC character, or a
Yeah,
boss or
that was going to be the
whatever. They
plan.
foreshadowed that,
Yeah.
yeah, for a while, and then like it did the 180 where she was rescued, and
Like, oh no, she was alive.
yeah. I think when they said like all they basically copied, or they basically saved all the people that actually died so that they could use them, and that was the point where I feel like a lot of people would had that thought of, oh, they're gonna bring,
That's exactly what I thought.
yeah. And then he's
And
talking about
then
his
oh look,
dad, and
here's gravy boat.
yeah, gravy boat. Oh, so good, so good. Yeah, a lot of character development too. Like Donut has grown a
Donut
lot.
has grown a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say Donut has had a lot of growth throughout this series.
I do have to say my favorite is when when he goes through achievements in the loot boxes. That's some of my favorite parts of.
Sure, because the AI is so snarky, and it's so funny.
And just seeing what gear he gets. Like, I'm excited. So, uh, I think I'm at the point where he's about to open up, I think, his celestial whatever box.
Okay, I'm honestly I'm trying to remember what he got out of it.
Like Donut opened up her boxes, and I think he's about to open up his. So, yeah, at the very beginning of book 6. So.
Yeah, I was like, you haven't gotten to like probably what the theme for that floor is yet, have you?
The different regions of the world mythos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did explain that.
There's an extra thing to it. Have you gotten to that yet?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah, because Donut, they got the book that was about the was it the lore history behind the Bahamas, whatever.
And then they don't
Donut
go to the
picked
Bahamas.
Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donut. As much as Donut has grown, some things never change.
True.
Donut does what Donut wants, because in the end, she is a cat.
Yes.
So, uh, the fact they got their own faction though, because of Donut's fan club.
Yeah.
What? Like this? I didn't. That was a come out of nowhere. I feel like.
It kind of was. But at the same time, like going in to the 9th floor, it's gonna be very interesting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That you have no idea how interesting.
Oh, I'm excited. I've got like probably 24 hours of book 6 left. So, because I think it's 26 hours. I think book 6 is.
I think so.
I think I'm like an hour. I think I'm between an hour and 2 hours in. Because that thing with Mordecai, that lasted longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad. That explained a lot. Oh, and the Mordecai's at different floors. Oh my god. We got cheated out of slime, Mordecai.
We did. But that was one of the moments with Monchichi Mordecai that I was driving and I started laughing so hard when they started describing what Mordecai looked like. I started laughing so damn hard.
Yeah, it's such a good book series, and man, hate that it's not all out. That I'm gonna be caught up and have to wait.
I
Like
know.
it's it's it, it's one of the best book series I've read in so long. Like I'm I'm well, I'm so glad, and the fact that it's part of the 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 it's lit RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that a bunch.
Literature
Yeah,
RPG. Because like I didn't know this was a genre, and it's a lot of, like, from what I can tell, it's a lot of isekai stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm into that. Let's go for it.
yeah. I have a few like I from like Jeff Hayes, the narrator, to you know looking at what he's done to looking at Matt Dillerman,
Denman.
Dinnerman. Yeah, his stuff and it's the similar things. I've wish listed a few things just so I have a list of things to go to when I'm run out of this. But like, there's some things that look interesting. Yeah. But what's the one you said you're reading now? I need to add that to my.
He Who Fights with Monsters.
I love the name of like everyone big chests or something like that. Have you seen that one? Or large chests? So, what is it? Yeah, everyone loves large chests, and it's like it's just a funny name because like it shows the
Oh,
character is
I have.
sitting on a large chest, but she has a large chest.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, well, yeah, looking up, lit RPG books, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of, like, okay, I get where some of these are going.
yeah.
Some of these are what TikTok would call spicy books.
I think. Oh, I don't know if you looked at Defiance of the Fall. That's one that I think I have. That looks interesting as well. Like, yeah, some of
I
these are. I'm
think
just like,
I've
I
seen that
didn't
one.
even know this was a genre, and I'm
I
like
didn't either.
excited.
I didn't
Like,
either.
this is amazing because
Like and there was a podcast I kind of used to listen to. Now I'm listening to all books. It just, like, it came up, and like it just kept coming up. Like, oh, I need to read that. Oh, I need to read that. Like, okay, I'm gonna freaking read it then. And I just like, okay, this has opened a door for me.
yeah, because yeah, it's like book versions of isekais
Yeah,
or deep dive. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of like deep dive type stuff, right? Where they're playing video games and they're like,
yes,
yeah, I've seen some that the descriptions made it seem like the deep dive, like anime, like stuff, and that's what it's called, right? The anime is like the deep dives
I
or
guess.
VR,
Yeah,
yeah, like Sword Art.
yeah.
You seen
Sword
that?
Art, Shangri La, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's some descriptions I came across because I'm at the I'm like I said when I got to like book 4 I was like, oh man, I'm getting close to I'm at this rate I'm gonna hit book 6. I'm gonna be finished so quick, and I gotta have something to replace. So that's when I started looking for other stuff. Like, and I'm excited. There's so much more. I'm gonna add He Who Fights with Monsters to my list.
Now, are you buying these on Amazon, or you get in through the library?
Audible. Yeah.
Okay. For He Who Fights with Monsters, I recommend buy the Kindle version and then check off the audiobook version, because it's fucking half price. At least with
Well,
He Who Fights with Monsters, because it's like $50 for the audiobook version, but the Kindle version is $6, and then you can add for $7 more, you can add the audiobook. I'm like, that's fucking half price.
okay.
Yeah, you doing like getting the Kindle version and the audiobook will sometimes be cheaper than just getting the audiobook.
Yeah, I'm gonna check like the library stuff, but they didn't have any Dungeon Crawler Carl. So
yeah,
I'm always gonna check the I'm always gonna check the free, through the Hoopla library version.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's another one my library's partnered with, but so I'll definitely check through that first. But yeah,
one of my coworkers, he's really into these kind of books. He said if you like Dungeon Crawler Carl, you will like Space Force. That's one that he told me about.
okay.
He said it's absolutely hilarious.
Is it just one book or is it a series?
I don't know, because I've not looked into it at all. I think it's called Space Force. Well, there's a book called Space Force, but I don't know if this is it or not. Okay, hilarious adventures for both gamers and non. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. This week has just been me listening. Yeah.
Like I said, I started listening to He Who Fights with Monsters, and like it's a legit isekai. Except the dude is from Australia, not Japan. Although he's half Japanese, so I don't know if that counts.
Oh God, real quick, when they were talking about when the announcer from Dungeon Crawler Carl, when they were talking about oh, and if you're in Ireland, you'll fight banshees and leprechauns, and if you're in whatever, but if you're in Japan, you're screwed. Because they have some of the most horrifying
sure
mythos, and it's just so good. When you mentioned Japan, that popped in my head. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. And the fact that it's also a good hefty length too to start with.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it is it definitely is a series, not one that it's it contains the whole story in one book. This doesn't.
Yeah, you said it's 10 right
10
now?
at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's crazy. Yeah.
And it's got a unique kind of magic system. Like there are these, it's a high magic world. It's similar to Earth, but the continents aren't quite in the right place, but they're still kind of, it's still kind of in the same, okay, that's kind of Australia there, that's kind of where America is, that kind of a thing. And there is these you get essences, and each person can only have 4 essences. But and there's like, essence of, water, fire, lava, doom, blood, like anything, like essence of spider. I don't know. And that will then determine kind of what powers you will eventually get, or it will give you the option, not really the option, but like you could now get, this set of powers. You not necessarily will, you could. You once you get 3, it will automatically, you'll just like the 4th one will automatically appear, like because to like, and it'll be one that like synergizes like all of yours together. Like the main character got blood, doom. Oh crap! I gotta look it up now because I forget. He got crap. Where is it? Okay, he got dark, blood, and sin, and that combining gave him the doom essence.
Okay.
And then you use awakening stones to then awaken a power, and it could be one of like 1,000 different powers related to that essence. Like when he got from dark, he can now see it. He got dark vision. And like and all of his combined kind of makes him a crap. I'm forgetting a lot of things now. He basically like put diseases and curses on people, and like he doesn't kill people instantly, but they will die a slow, painful death.
Okay.
And his personality is he is a manipulator, straight up. He manipulates people, but not necessarily in a bad way. Just he manipulates them in the way that he wants them. But he's not necessarily a bad guy. And his mouth gets him in trouble a lot. Like he gets beat the shit. A lot of people have beat the shit out of him. And I'm doing a very bad job at explaining this book.
I'm trying to look. Yeah, his name's Jason, right?
Yeah, his name's Jason Asano.
Okay. It looks like the first book is on Hoopla, but the time isn't matching with what Audible shows.
Interesting.
Jason wakes up in a mysterious world of magic and monsters. It's not easy making the career jump from office supply store middle manager to heroic interdimensional adventurer. It's by the same people and read by the same people, but like maybe it's just a mistake on Hoopla. It says 25 hours, 17 minutes, and the first book on Audible is 28 hours, 56 minutes.
Huh.
So maybe it's just a mistake. I don't know.
Maybe.
I will. I mean, if I can get it for free, then I'm going to.
Sure. But I will say, like, he wakes up in a hedge maze naked.
Oh, okay.
Well,
at least it's better than what Carl did.
I don't know.
Carl had some form of clothing.
but like one of his abilities, he's got a quest system that gives him rewards, and his first rewards are pants, shirt.
I take that back. He's already doing better than Carl.
He got pants. He got pants on his first one. He's better off than Carl.
Carl can never wear pants.
Nope.
The fact that he got those boxers where he can never wear pants. Oh,
It was kind of obvious where that was going to go.
So good. Yeah.
But turns out the manor that the Hes Mage was attached to were a bunch of cannibals. So yeah, so he wakes up in a Hes Mage with cannibals. So
Interesting.
And it goes from there.
Yeah, I will definitely check this out though.
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing a very, very bad job at explaining this.
Oh no, it sounds.
I wasn't planning on
good.
talking about it. So
yeah. It sounds good. It sounds like something that would, definitely in the same vein as,
Yeah, like it's a legit it's an isekai, and he doesn't, at least at the time, book one, he does not have like an overpowered ability. He's not OP. He doesn't have that he's got a dumb skill that if he he uses it differently than everybody else, and it's OP. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And kind of what definitely gets him in trouble is he brings his ideology from Earth to there. And it's a place of nobles, and so like things don't, there's the upper class and the lower class, so it definitely, and he's definitely opinionated.
Okay, interesting.
So,
and brand new month, so my limit of things I can get on Hoopla has reset, so this will definitely be one when I get caught up with Dungeon Carl, which I'll probably be done by the end of the weekend. The way I've been going. But
I will be curious on your thoughts at the end of book 6.
For sure. Yeah.
Because that teaser into the next book is kind of one of those like stand up and go, "Oh my god," moments.
There's a lot of that throughout this. Yeah. I definitely have had that reaction.
Yeah.
Like I said, the end of book 5 with the crown reveal was
yeah.
So
yeah, and find out B was alive, and at the end of the 4th book.
Oh yeah. It kind of sucks that I think the was it the intro of book 6 kind of spoiled the Patrick Warburton's character, because it said what Patrick Warburton was playing. I think it said who he was playing at the beginning of it.
Only playing his dad.
Yeah. But the fact that they did that was like because there was the like, will they, won't they? Because he kept saying like, oh, I don't even know if my dad was still alive, or but that they kind of just like, oh yeah.
It doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. I'll say that right now.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's so good. Anyways, Is it my
what else
turn, I
have you
guess?
been? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I
I
brought
kind
up
of hijacked.
finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl.
um, okay, isekai that I did watch. When we were talking about isekais, campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill.
I was
This one
waiting.
is so up my alley. Yeah, so I've been wanting to talk about this for weeks.
Yeah,
So it's so good, Stuart. Have you seen this one?
I have not.
Oh, well, it's a hero summon origin where they summon heroes.
Sure.
The main character gets summoned, and everyone's like looking at their skills, and you know he they have like the others he summoned with have like great skills and all that. The ones. He has like home shopping skill or something like that, like online ordering skill. So I forget the actual like term for it, but like he's like, okay, this is useless because there's no internet. I'm not in this. And so he's basically like has to excuse himself, and he does join the party and all this. They get the kingdom who summoned him does give him like a small thing of gold, you know, and he decides, oh well, okay, there's gonna be like, I think his thoughts are like, there's gonna be war, so I need to get out of here, and I need to like I need to find a I need to get out of this country and all this and that, and so he ends up finding I mean, I'm trying to think how things are. I might have some things out of order, but he tries to find like he ends up finding like a party to like so he can pay to like escort him, and he talks about how he'll do the cooking and all this and that, and then he finds out like I forget how he finds out, but he finds out, oh yeah, he can order things online. He can pull up a UI and just order things online, and it just arrives like the equivalent of an Amazon box just pops out of nowhere, and he's able to open it. And
Yeah, one of the comments on Crunchyroll just says instant Amazon in another world.
basically, yeah. So he's able to he's able to like his UI or whatever, he's able to pay for it with actual gold in the real world, and so he's able to he ends up like buying certain things from like from that are like common. Like I think one of the first things he does is he buys like salt and pepper or something like that, like, and then sells it. You know, and the fact that like the quality of our stuff, which is like we take for granted, I guess, is so great for them or whatever. And he ends up making money that way, and then he ends up like on his way with the party. He's like he paid to escort him. He ends up making all kinds of great dishes, and then he ends up attracting a maybe I should look up the some of the names of these. He ends up attracting like a legendary beast or something. I trying to pull up the names because this was like 3 years ago, or not 3 years ago, 3 weeks ago. I think I watched this. So I'm trying to pull some stuff up. I think it's like a legendary beast, like a legendary like wolf type creature. That it might be a different name, but it's the equivalent to legendary. Whatever. The rest of the party's afraid of it and is like scared, and surely he's gonna die. But the creature basically ends up like saying, "Hey, feed me. I want food."
Okay.
and then ends up making a pact to become his familiar, and now it's his job to feed and um to cook him food and all this and that, and he introduces all these different foods and stuff, and actual food dishes, not just like, oh, I'm making a stew, here you go. Like, he goes in detail and describes how he's cooking the food and stuff like that. So totally up my alley.
Absolutely, it
I
is.
mean, yeah. So it's so great as far as that goes. Um, there's a part where he's like, okay, we're gonna have a special treat, and he buys wagyu, and his familiar just goes crazy over the wagyu steak, and like he's like, and I think it's like he's able to, when he cooks, he imbues, I think, like he's I might be getting this mixed up, but if I remember correctly, he like imbues stuff when he cooks into the food, so like it energizes them, and you know increases their stats. Yeah, I remember it does increase, because it increases the his legendary familiar creature with like crazy stats, and the wagyu like made him go like out of control. Um, and his familiar ends up like hunting all these crazy creatures, like that he ends up selling to like he ends up selling the parts and keeping the meat to like the Adventurers Guild. Um, it's so good. It's such a good, fun anime. Totally up my alley with the
Mhm.
cooking. Um, it's just it's a little ridiculous that he's able to just like buy stuff from Amazon, and he's even able to buy stuff from like convenience stores, like ready, like delivery places too. Like, he's able to buy like already made meals, and they just pop up, and you know and trying to keep that a secret. That's one of his things. He's trying to keep a secret from other people besides his familiars. He ends up getting another familiar that's a slime,
Okay.
because yeah, slimes
Because
have
of
to be
course.
in animes now. Like, um, and the slime has a, has a cute personality. You know, is adorable. Um, it's a really good anime. Like, if if we had recorded shortly after I had watched this, maybe I'd be able to remember some of the names and stuff better. But like, it's such a good. I love it so much. Like, the cooking is i- instantly. I ended up like cooking some of the stuff I saw him cook. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta have I gotta look up the recipe for this or for that. I gotta make pork katsu, and like the deep fried pork cutlets, which is like a typical Japanese thing. You know, I saw him make that, and I'm like, oh, I can make that. I have pork chops. I have panko breadcrumbs. I have this. I can make that. And then some of the other stuff he was making, I'm like, I need to look up these recipes, because that could be interesting. If the Because some s I wasn't quite sure if some of the things he was saying were actual food, or if it was just stuff he was making, because he was talking, one of the things was like ground beef cutlets, where I guess, like he ground beef like patties, but like coated in breadcrumbs, and deep fried and whatever. I was like, that could be something, but I've never heard of that before.
I haven't had
Like,
dinner yet.
sorry, sorry. Um, but yeah, it's great. It's one that I absolutely love, and I hope there's more to it. I hope that he gets a second season. Um, but yeah, it's one. It and he's not like powerful as in fighting. Like that's not a thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's his he basically just cooking and has the skill to order the stuff from our world and use it here. Um, and it's basically like his legendary, overpowered, mystical familiar. You know, oh, I forgot. He ends up getting the blessing of a god, where he has to make offerings, and the god is like only wants sweets and demands he offers sweets from his real world. Because she, and it's one of those things where like it's a little kid who's the god,
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
and she wants sweets, and she demands sweets from him from our world and stuff like that. And then there's some other gods who find out and bestow blessings to him, because like if you're bestowed a blessing, you have to give like regular offerings and stuff like that in order to keep the blessing. And so that's another thing that's in the background. Or like gods are like demanding food and stuff from our world from him. But it's really good. Like, I love that we're getting more animes like this, where it's not necessarily wrapped around like main character's overpowered and has to fight the demon king, or you know has to do this, or has to, like we're getting these anime where it's like typical anime happens. It starts out like a typical anime, but he goes the opposite way of what normal isekai protagonists, would do, because he has the skill for online shopping
Mm-hmm.
when the others have the skills for like, you know, killing the demon king or all that stuff, and
My instant kill ability is overpowered,
yeah, stuff like that.
which is actually an anime.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I love these like kind of cozy style animes.
Yeah,
What's something else you got?
I'm actually looking up what the title for that one is. What the hell?
Oh, I think there's like 3 different animes that are
No,
that are
it
close to
is.
that.
My instant death ability is overpowered. That is the actual name
Yeah.
of the anime.
But I think there's another one that's like a one-hit kill in the name.
That's like my one hit kill sister, or my one hit sister, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill. Like
Yeah.
William's new favorite anime. That's
Yeah.
basically a synonym. Like
An anime that I watched. It technically becomes an isekai, but not till like episode 17
oh,
out of 26 episodes.
okay. That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, that was definitely kind of different in that regard. It's called, you know, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Yeah, it's a title that does not make any sense, but it's YU dash NO. You know. Um, it reminded me a lot of Steins Gate
Oh
because,
boy.
well,
Synonym for hey Stuart, you're gonna love this.
you're right. You're right. Um, it follows a kid whose father was a historian or whatever, and was killed in a cave collapse. Um, and something that was left to him was a mysterious object, and this object allows you to travel back in time, but not like you can't like set a point like, okay, I'm going to travel back 10 days. No, you have to, it's like it's a quick save and then quick load. So like you have to go, okay, I want to start here, so I set this point, this is the point I'm going to come back to. Then you go forward in time, and then you jump back to the time that you set. So it's not like, like, oh shit, something just happened, I go back in time and fix it. Nope. You have to have set the point before, that went down.
Okay. I found it. This is actually in my watch list. Have not watched it though. So
It reminded us of Steins Gate because, like, once like a certain event has played out in a certain way, he literally gets teleported to a parallel universe where like everything's kind of the same, but events are going to play out slightly differently.
Cross-dimensional time travel. The like that sound. Reading this description, yeah, it sounds Steins Gate like.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, but I will say that it gets fucking dark. Like,
oh really?
Like the first, like his first kind of run through. It's his whole thing is that he's going back in time to stop the event happening, and he keeps having to jump back in time because he's not fixing it. Is his stepmother is raped, and then she commits suicide.
Wow. Yeah, that's dark.
Yeah. And like she commits, and like every time he goes back, she commits suicide in a different way. So, and you see a lot of them. So yeah, like it doesn't go that dark after that, but that first bit is dark.
Okay. Wow.
And it kind of plays like the whole thing. Like, and I will say this: the story is contained in 26 episodes. Like at the end, it is done. That is an ending to that show. There is not a. I hope there's a season 2. Nope, because there is not going to be a season 2.
Okay, that's good. I'm okay with that with some shows.
Yeah. Like this actually has an ending.
And it's fully dubbed.
Yes.
So that's good. I'm happy about that.
But like I said, it doesn't become an isekai until like episode like 17. And it gets kind of confusing around then. Like, okay, so I don't know how, I can't really explain it without spoiling why it's confusing.
Oh. I think I started this because I'm looking at saying I've watched saying 1 through 9 all have watched on it. Looking at the screen, looking at the thumbnails, and yeah, I think I have watched. Started. I think I did start this. Maybe when it was airing. That's why I didn't watch all of it. Okay. I'll have to start over though.
Yeah, well, then you've got past that. The point of his stepmom being raped and commit suicide over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking through the different thumbnails of the episodes, and yeah, I'm recognizing things for sure. And it's coming back to me. Yeah. This definitely isn't a super new anime, right?
No, this came out in 2019.
Oh wow. Okay.
Spring of 2019. So this was before the world went to shit. The before times.
I remember the before times
Mm,
when groceries were affordable.
yeah. And people could afford houses. Anyway, as I said, I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, like I said, reminded me a lot of Science Gate, but instead of science, it's more magic.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess as for anime to wrap up mine, finally finished the last 3 episodes of Zom 100. Bucket List of the Dead. Very good. Very enjoyable. I really hope I don't think there will be more just cuz the issues it had. Like it had trouble even getting those last few episodes out. Because it was the one that went on hiatus
Yeah,
for for whatever. But like it ended where there could be more. You definitely could. They ended in a way where it's like, oh yeah, there's still more adventures to be had with these characters. Um, just wanted to touch on that real quick. But I did start Shangri-La Frontier.
okay,
That's still airing, I think, right?
it is.
Technically, yeah. I've gotten up to 12. 12 is where, or 11's the last episode I watched. So
I'm trying to find out where because I've not actually watched in a while because I'm waiting for more episodes to come out so I can watch them.
it's interesting, like the fact that he was a gamer who played terrible games.
Yeah, and because of that, he's actually really good at this game.
Yeah, because he's used to having to play. He's having to overcome broken bugs and
Right.
horrible gameplay. That the fact that he's able to actually play a normal game and it's super easy for him. And um I think the last thing I remember is he was about to team up with the the two other people, like the one chick and the other dude he
Yeah.
played games with. He was about to team up with them.
Okay. Yeah. That's I last one I watched was episode 13, so
Okay, yeah.
I'm not too far ahead of you.
And everyone's obsessed with him because or everyone knows he has the pet, or they think it's his pet.
Yeah. But it was actually a super secret quest that nobody has ever found.
Yeah, and it's just a NPC that's joined his party, right?
Yeah.
It's not technically a pet.
No.
Um, and then yeah, it's interesting. Some of the different things, like the one chick who has a crush on him in the real world, and
Yeah.
how she's this badass in the game, but she acts all, and he's like hesitant on like what.
What does this really powerful player want with me? Run
Yeah,
away!
like
No way.
yeah. Can we be friends? And he's like, sure, I guess. And then she's all excited because of that, but he doesn't want to do a quest because he doesn't want to quest with her because he thinks it's just to like level boost him. That's why she wants to help him
Mm-hmm.
or quest with him, and yeah, it's pretty good. Like, yeah, I got to episode 11 and it says I started episode 12, but it says 23 minutes left, so it was probably like that's why I stopped. Yeah, so um yeah, you're only like one or two episodes technically ahead of me. So
Yeah.
and they're on, what are they? They are on 20 subbed,
18 dubbed.
18 dubbed. Yeah. Oh, there's 4-parter episodes. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty fun. I'm enjoying. I was watching it and then I decided to listen to Dungeon Crawl Carl, and then that took over my life.
That just took over. Yep.
The only thing I've been doing besides that, I've watched some YouTube videos from like certain like comic book YouTubers and stuff like that to keep up with what's going on in the comic book world. And I've watched the Thunder games that have aired.
Okay.
But besides that, it's the last week it's been Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna have to pick back up on the anime stuff that I've been neglecting. And Shangri-La Frontier will definitely be one of them because I've been enjoying it. It's been good. Um so yeah. What's something else you got?
Uh, I'll talk about this one. I watched another isekai. I'm going to butcher the name of this one because this one is all in Japanese. Seiri? Gen Sekuki. Colon Spirited Chronicles. So that's going to be the thing that you can find it by.
Spirited Chronicles.
Oh no, it's just Spirit, not Spirited.
Spirit. Okay.
This one is Isekai. You know, he is born as, or not born. He wakes up as a child. And he has the both memories of what his old life was and his new life. And his old life, he was actually like, he was on the kendo team, so like he kind of automatically gets skills. You know, as a child, he has a fighting ability, and it comes in handy, kind of right off the bat. He's a child, he's a child in the slums, like he, orphaned, but he ends up saving the princess, and as a reward goes to the noble magic school. And he's OP, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will say this, that I freaking hope that there is a season 2, because it ends with the biggest fucking cliffhanger I've ever seen in anime. He finds out that he's not the only person who has come to this world. Like I said, he was born in this world. He finds somebody who was teleported to this world. So while he is okay staying, they want to go back. And something happens at the end of the last episode. Like, I need to see what happens next. And I really, really hope that a season 2 is coming soon.
I think I've seen this one. I'm looking and a lot of it's remembering. Is this the one where like his parents are from another world? Am I getting that
No,
mixed up?
that is season 2 of that one's airing right now.
Okay, I do remember like him saving. I have watched some of this one though, because I do remember him saving princess, or was it the princess or the princess's sister in the slums? Technically, right?
I mean, technically, she was a.
Well, yeah,
She's also
yeah.
the princess.
But there's another princess, an
Yes.
older one, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's an older
and
princess.
yeah, and then yeah, I do remember. So I have watched some of this, at least. Trying to see if I'm trying to look through the descriptions of the older of the later episodes to see. I definitely have watched the first at least few episodes of this. So
Okay, cool. I just looked it up. Crunchyroll news. Season 2 premieres in 2024.
oh, nice. Okay, then this will be one I definitely rewatch in time for right before that season 2 comes out. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause I do remember some of
the
this.
one you were thinking of was Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. That's the one where his parents were from another world.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
he was sent back to the world, and he's ugly, according to everybody, and he can't speak common.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It so there was nothing to do with his parents in this one, like
There
nothing
is something with
relevant.
his parents,
Okay,
but it's
that
not.
I thought. Yeah, it might just be getting those two mixed up because of there was something relevant with his parents, but I have seen at least some of this. You know, I don't remember the ending of this necessarily, so maybe either I forgot or you know because this did come out in 2022, so.
Yeah, or 2021.
Oh yeah, okay, 2021, but technically, first episode was December 27th, 2021. So yeah, technically, yeah, I'm hovering over, reading little descriptions. I like that. I like that Crunchyroll has that where you can hover over the episodes and it pops up a little description of each episode without having to actually click on to
Yeah,
the episode. That's really nice. That's a nice, quality of life feature. The assassin girl. I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
yeah. That was another
I,
thing. Like there's an assassin like cat girl who was actually on the same bus that he was when he was hit by a train. So like they were both sent to this world, but she was definitely worse off.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was in the slums, but she was worse off. That tells you.
Yeah. As I'm looking through the descriptions of each episode, this is definitely one I've watched. It's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad there's gonna be a season.
So am I.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Some of these, yeah, I love. It's great. Some of these like it's season twos, like a year or two later, because like that just means I can rewatch the first season to get myself familiar with it.
Right.
uh, okay. Last thing I got. Um, it's probably more than I'm forgetting, but I read some comics, Stuart.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've watched some stuff. I've watched some live action stuff I've watched sports. I've watched anime. I've listened to books and I've also read comic books. So I'm like well rounded.
Yeah.
um, first comic I read was the new Ultimate Spider-Man from Jonathan Hickman.
Oh, right.
Yeah. There's 2 episodes out, or 2 issues out, not episodes. 2 issues out. Um, it's it's a different take on Spider-Man
Really?
for sure. Yeah. Apparently there's a 4-part series of like Ultimate was it Ultimate Invasion or something like that like sets this world up too. I think I saw. I need to read that, but yeah, it starts out with Peter Parker. He's 35. He's
Oh,
basically our age.
he's
Yeah.
he's been Spider-Man, or is this he
No.
becomes? Oh,
No. Yeah. No.
oh. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. Um, he's married to Mary Jane and has 2 kids.
Cool.
Uncle Ben's alive. Aunt May is not.
Wow.
Yeah. It starts with him working at the Daily Bugle with Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson, and Jameson and Uncle Ben are like best friends. That's hilarious, Stuart.
I while he was talking, I just found a little little comic strip of a guy standing on a roof next to a spider. Hey, little guy, come back. I need you to bite me.
But so yeah, it starts with that. There's I think something happened. I can't remember if it was fully explained or not, but there was some oh, was it? Yeah, it was Tony Stark. Tony Stark is like not portrayed well in this world for some reason, and it kind of becomes clear, or there's hints of it in season or in issue. Um, and I'm sure there's more explanation. I think in that 4-part series of the Ultimate Invasion or something, that other thing that introduced this world, there's another character called the Maker who's like does stuff and messes with reality and what. But Yeah, there's something Tony Stark is not portrayed well. I think the world thinks he was like a kind of a terrorist or something like that.
Now, when you say not portrayed well, you don't mean like written badly,
No,
but
no,
like
like the
just
like
isn't necessarily a
his
good guy.
yeah, the world
Okay.
views him. Yeah. Yeah. Um trying to look up something quick. But yeah, the um apparently like uh how do I go on this? He has the kids. Aunt May is gone. Uncle Ben's still alive. Um, you know, he's already 30. He's 35. I think they said he's 35. So like right between our age.
So yeah, he's 1 year
Because you're
younger than me.
yeah, 1 year older than me. So yeah, so around our age. So it's like great because you know, and uh
That just means there's still a chance.
you're right. You're not wrong. But it doesn't show him being necessarily bit by a spider or anything like that. But in he's having this talk with like with Mary Jane about like you know he has to go out or whatever. And so in it you know he already has like the suit and apparently the powers and it I don't want to give too much away, but like it'll like flash back to like he got it real recently. So it's
Okay.
not like, you know, so he did get it when he was like 35. It's just you know, he has the powers starting with issue 1, but like what would
Okay.
have been like in issue 0 is when he got it,
Gotcha.
you know. So, but it, he doesn't know how to in shows cuz he's stopped like the shocker and the shocker has like I think twice in a row gets the one up on him. Like tricks him and ends up like getting away and you know he's very unfamiliar with his power. That's another thing that shows like you know he's new to it. um it sort of ends like with like the kingpin owns like the Daily Bugle, I think, and is wanting to like censor the news and all the ads. Jonah Jameson and uh, Ben Parker, Uncle Ben, they both like leave to go start their own like kind of company, whatever. So that seems like that's gonna be a thing. I like the dynamic between Jameson and Uncle Ben. I think that's kind of cool. I love how like
Something we never
this
got to
is
see.
this is Spider-Man flipped on its head. Like, you know, the fact that we're seeing Uncle Ben and not Aunt May, you know, is crazy.
Yeah.
Like don't like when I was reading it, I'm like, I don't know how I processing this. How? Like it's good though. The art looks great, you know. Um I'm loving it. I think, you know, I think there's only 2 issues out right now. Um, it's it Comixology?
Yes, because this third issue comes out March 27th.
Oh man, I hate to have to wait that long, but yeah. I'm gonna pick up the that 4-part, I think. I think is it Ultimate? I think it's called Ultimate Invasion. Uh, Ultimate Invasion. Jonathan yeah, okay, yeah. The Illuminati must gather once again to stop the Maker, one of one of the last survivors of the original. The Maker plans to ensure that Earth's mightiest heroes never become heroes at all, and then he reshapes a defenseless universe into exactly what he wants. Okay, and we're starting to see like bits and pieces of that. Like it's clear that like the Kingpin has his rise to power as he does because the Maker. Like that's hinted, I think, in
Mm-hmm.
issue 2. So yeah, this is a totally new. As I'm not sure if I mentioned to you personally or on the podcast, but this is a totally different Ultimate Universe. This is nothing like I guess the Maker is the only holdover from the other Ultimate Universe, the Bendis Ultimate Universe,
Okay.
but this is Jonathan Hickman's like new, and he was the one who was in charge of X-Men for the last 5 years, doing everything X-Men, I think. All the crazy stuff they've been doing. They've been, you know, um so there's the Ultimate Invasion, there's Ultimate Spider-Man. I think Ultimate Black Panther is another one is also out. I've heard good things about that too, I believe. Yeah, Ultimate Black Panther. So I'm like, when I heard about this, I'm like, yes, okay, great, good jumping on point for me who wants to get back into comic book. It's characters I know and love, but it's them in a new universe in a new way, and they're not like completely restarting over with like origin story because
Yeah.
so
And
this is
the
like
the last
perfect.
Ultimate series was really good.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, amazing. Yeah, a lot of we might not have the MCU as we know it without that universe,
Right.
because a lot of the MCU is based on the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I wonder what I'm curious. I'm curious to see what other series are going to be in this universe. Like I said, I think it's right. At least as I know, it's just Black Panther, uh, Spider Man, and then there's that 4-part series. This is like very new, early on, of this new universe. So, and then I love that there's this because there's still the regular Marvel universe
Yeah.
that has Peter and with Aunt May and all this and that, but we have this new one where it's Uncle Ben. We get to, you know, we get to see what things would be like if Uncle Ben didn't die,
Exactly.
and we get Peter married to Mary Jane again. Yay! Because we know the powers that be have hated Mary Jane.
Why?
Yeah, I
And
think
that
I
was
think there's.
and them that breakup was the worst thing ever. Like the
Oh
worst story.
God, I'm not sure if you know some of the recent stuff in the main universe, but like apparently something happened to Mary Jane where having she ended up going to another universe or time thing or whatever, and it ends up having like full grown kids, not like fully adult kids, but like you know out out kids that are older than like toddlers, I think now, with this guy, and it's just like, what is even going on? Yeah. Yeah, the head of Marvel for the longest time has hated Mary Jane. I think recently there's been a new like what's it called? New transition or n- new people running Marvel. So, hopefully this is the results of it. But yeah, I love the fact that we got this new Marvel universe to, you know, explore new things without necessarily messing with what, you know, the original 616 universe. And it's a great jumping on point for people like me and maybe you. Maybe you'll give the
I've already picked up the
Spider-Man.
first issue while you were talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
I will buy this.
Yep. The first two are out. Both great. I read them back to back. Amazing. Love them. Can't wait for the third one. I thought the third one was out because I was watching a comic. I was watching a video that, and it was probably they probably recorded it like a lot earlier and just released it late because they were saying, "Oh yeah, the next issue comes out this week," and I was like, "Oh really?" And I looked and I saw what you had saw, where it's like, "Nope, it's
Yeah.
into this month." So I was upset about that when I was like, "Oh, y'all held out posting this video." So okay, but yeah, it's so far so good. You know, um, uh, last thing, another comic book, Predator versus Wolverine. Amazing.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. It's all done. It's a 4-part. Um I'm excited to see more Predator verses as well as Alien verses, you know, cuz they can do that now cuz Marvel publishes both the comics
All right.
and they're under the same ownership. You know, the mouse owns it all. So,
Mouse owns everything.
right? Not Spider-Man though. At least, you know, the movie rights. Which I did see a TikTok about the possibility of Disney suing Sony because like Madam Web has been
So bad.
Madam so bad that it's like it's possibly hurting the brand of Spider-Man. And I'm like, yeah,
I can see that.
like there's a case for that because how many of these Spider-Man movies that don't actually have Spider-Man in them, you know, like the fact that the fact that some of the actors thought they were in the MCU and realize and we're told after the fact that no, those aren't part of the MCU is just baffling. And that goes to show you the average moviegoer probably doesn't know the difference between, you know,
No.
these Sony Marvel movies and the actual MCU. So yeah, I could see that being a case of like, you know, I saw some TikToks about that being a possibility, and I'm like, oh, I hope so. Like, because yeah, these movies are garbage. Like,
Yeah,
just
and
awful.
later this year we're getting Craven the Hunter, which I can tell you will not do well.
Oh, for sure. Like, you know, Madam Web was all. I mean, the fact that like you had Morbius, you had Morbius and you had Madam Web both being bootleg streamed on Twitch like a week or two, like 1 to 2 weeks after it premiered, you know, in theaters, is just goes to tell you something. Like,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's just it. And from what I heard, it's because I watched a YouTube video where like the one comic book YouTuber was explaining Madam Web to another one because he refused to go see it because it's garbage, you know, like it seemed garbage and it is garbage. So I was like, oh, I'll listen to explain it to this other person and me, the audience. So it just, oh my god, it seems like a total nightmare. Like, and it's bad. Like I said, like it has come out that some of the actors thought that
Yeah.
when they signed up that they were going to be in the MC, and not Sony's Marvel movies, you know. And it also goes to show you that the actors, they don't know the difference. They, because it goes to, I think the comic book YouTubers were pointing out the Gwyneth Paltrow, like, she didn't even know she was in Spider-Man. She thought she was only in Iron Man.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So it's you can't get too
Well,
like they should know. Like, no, really?
honestly, with
Because
like with with the way that those movies are probably shot, like you don't know what movie you're in because it all flows together.
yeah, but like, yeah, the ones who thought they were in the MCU that are in Madam Web, like they should really have a word with their managers, like, because they misled them greatly. The managers should know the difference between these things,
Yes,
for sure. I would feel like, yeah. I think it was Sydney Sweeney. I think that's the actor or actress
I
who
think she's in it. I think.
she's in it. Yeah, don't really know her, to be honest. Like, but I think she was the one of the ones who thought like she was gonna be in the MCU and ended up being in this horrible movie that seems all revolved around Spider-Man, but not, you know, like I think was it Adam Scott? I think he plays Ben Parker in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's just like from what I heard the description on that video, like when they were explaining, it just seems like such a nightmare. It's such a mess, and I'm like, good lord, what's Craven gonna be like? Like, and are they still making that? I can't remember. Are they still making that the El Muerto with Bad Bunny?
I don't know.
The character who only appeared in whose whole catalog it was, I think, maybe two Spider-Man issues, and they were gonna make a whole movie. Like, yeah, eh. I'm still surprised we haven't. I'm still surprised they won't just make the Sinister Six movies, because they've been trying to make that Sinister Six movie without Spider-Man for so long. Like,
Okay, that has been removed from Sony's release calendar.
okay, good.
That
Yeah,
was as
they
of
all
June,
should.
so that was half a
Yeah.
year ago.
There's speculation on like what the next Spider-Man movie is going to be like, because apparently a lot of people think Sony wants it to just be like a No Way Home Part 2, where it's, hey, we had 3 Spider-Man, let's have them come back and do another multiverse thing.
Nope, let's not.
It's like, no, let let let's have Spider-Man team up with like Daredevil and take on the Kingpin.
Sure.
Let's have a street level movie, because that's what Spider-Man is. He's a street level character.
Who sometimes gets involved in big events.
Let's have you have Daredevil, or you have Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's have a Spider-Man and Deadpool, or you team up movie. There's a whole Marvel team ups where Spider-Man teams up with that was a whole series of comic books where Spider-Man teamed up with other people, right? So like, let's get back to that,
Yeah.
like, and just the fact that like there's so many good characters and so many good stories that are not cosmic or multiverse, But Sony's like, hey, made $1 billion. Let's do it again. It made $1 billion because it's Spider-Man. Whatever you do with Spider-Man is, as long as it's not complete garbage, is gonna make $1 billion.
True.
Like that's just Spider-Man. Why not make a movie that doesn't cost as much? That's still gonna make $1 billion. But back to Predator versus Wolverine. Very good. Very good. Art was great. Story was interesting. Basically, it was it was basically the certain Predator kept coming back to Wolverine throughout the years, leading to like an ultimate fight. Different parts of his life and stuff like that, and it was really cool and very good. Definitely recommend checking out if anyone's interested. Like I said, it's all done and it's a 4-part series. Um, I think Marvel's already published, I think, Alien and Predator stuff before this. This is the first like crossover we've gotten since Marvel's had them. So, hopefully there's more. I'd love to see more, you know. Like what happens if the Venom symbiote gets to, either one of these, Predator or Alien.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Right? How crazy could that be?
Ooh,
I want to see like I want to see a like Punisher versus Predator, you know? I think that would be the next cool one for Predator.
sure.
I don't know. I've been trying to think which would be a good one for Alien. That's the tricky one cuz you don't want to go someone who's too overpowered, right?
No, no, yeah,
Like
you
Iron
don't, you don't
Man,
got like the
you know.
Hulk. Yeah,
Yeah,
Daredevil.
maybe. Um I was trying to think of maybe more another like cosmic hero. But it's hard to find one that's not overpowered.
Yeah,
Maybe like a I don't know, like a
Guardians. Just Guardians.
yeah, I was thinking that, yeah, like a Star-Lord or I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the Guardians are doing in the comics right now, you know?
I don't know who is a Guardian.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mentioned Black Panther earlier. He's not in space anymore, right? Remember when Black Panther Wakanda was in space?
Don't remember that.
That was a thing that happened. Like they had a spaceship and they went out and the whole like Wakanda went out in space, I guess. There's been some weird stuff with Marvel. But yeah, the it was really cool cuz like the Predator, like I said, the Predator versus Wolverine was something that was like going back and forth through his whole life from early on, and it showed him like clean shaven and young, I think to start with, which is very, very weird, all the way through like him with, Weapon X and other people and stuff like that. So very cool stuff. Definitely would recommend. Um anyways, I think that's basically all for me.
Oh, the current members of the Guardians are Drax, Gamora, Mantis, Nebula, Rocket Raccoon, and Star Lord. So, capitalizing on the movie. You are muted.
That's not who they are in the movie now, though.
You
Technically.
know what I meant.
Yeah. The ones who were in the main. Yeah. Very interesting, though. Yeah, those are my two like comics that I quickly that I was like, okay, I'm gonna read these. These are there's not a lot of these. I can get through these, and it's gonna start my reintroduction into comic book reading because I want to get back into comics. I really do. I do follow what's going on in the comic book through YouTube. There's some crazy stuff. Like, anyways, you got anything else?
I'll save it. We've been going kind of long.
I mean, when we only record once a month, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
Apparently,
But yeah, I guess be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I'm at Will Play Games _ Follow Stuart on Twitch at Casual Terror or twitch.tv/Casual Terror. We're not doing D&D right now for the foreseeable future. So
yeah,
there's not that. I don't know if Stuart plans on streaming or anything like that in the future, but
it's crossed my mind, but I just haven't.
yeah. Every Sunday comes around and I get so sad. I just want, I miss playing our game,
Yeah, and I've been messing with the new updates to the D&D system on Foundry. So
Yep. Anyways, hopefully something does happen and maybe that'll change. But as of right now, there's no D&D from the foreseeable future. So, but with that, I guess we will catch you next time. Hopefully later in March and not April.
yes.
So, yep.
And remember, no animals are harmed making this podcast.
Okay, I've got that added to my wish list. Space Force, that's added to check out.
So yeah, that was a recommendation to me. So I'm just passing
Yeah.
that one along. So don't shoot the messenger
Yeah.
if that one's not good.
It won't be the next one, Next one will be He Who Fights Monster or He Who Fights with Monsters. That seems definitely really good.
Now when I looked at like a list of like lit RPGs, that was like high on the list.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a whole thing. That was a whole genre.
I don't either.
Like, and it's not. It seems like it's a huge genre too now. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because it doesn't seem like it's a necessarily new genre from when a lot of these that I'm looking at like started out.
Yeah.
They seem like they all started out only a few years ago, but there's so many. Like there's so many that have had so like the He Who Fights Monsters started in 2021 and has 10 books already.
Yeah. And they're
That's
not
crazy.
short. I'll say
No,
that.
not
They're not
yeah.
short.
Yeah. I'm looking at them. Yeah.
And the chapters go kind of quick too. Like there's like over 100 chapters in the first book.
The shortest one is 15 hours long. That's crazy. Like, yeah. So, and it seems like there's a lot of other these in this a lot of other series that are all similar that have, they started a couple years ago and have like so many, you know.
Yeah,
They're just
I'm
I
on
guess the authors are pumping them out.
Goodreads, which is where people keep track of their books they've read and want to read. Best lit RPG books, and there's like over 400 of them. And number 2 is he who fights with monsters. Number 3 is Dungeon Crawler Carl.
What's number 1 then?
Something called Unsold,
Huh.
as in like UNSOULDED.
What's this? Monster Menu? A Slice of Life? What?
No.
No, it's something else I'm looking at.
Oh.
An LA taco truck chef is transported to a fantasy realm where bad reviews are the least of his worries. Stewart?
That book sounds like it's for you.
Oh my god. I just searched like lit RPG to try to like see like when this genre came out or whatever, and it was like a sponsored thing on Google search, like Audible. It was one of the things on the side. I was like, what? Monster Menu. But yeah, it says the term was introduced in 2013. So yeah, it's a fairly new
Yeah.
thing. Interesting. God. Can you imagine popping out like 10 massively large books in less than 5 years?
No.
Like how do they have how does he have
Like,
or how do they have
I thought
time to do
I
that?
thought Brandon Sanderson was insane.
Yeah, right?
But no.
Add Monster Menu to my wish list. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's a series. It's just so. It did come out July of last year, so maybe there might be more in the future. I don't know. Yeah.
Masterclass, a slice of life harem.
You know what anime I'm surprised hasn't gotten dubbed yet? That Harem World one. Wasn't it called Harem World?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Um,
I know nothing about it besides the name, to be honest. So
I don't know. The ones that seem like are like just shy like of hentai tend to not get dubbed.
oh, was it more of that? Okay. That makes sense. That does make sense based on the name. Yeah. Yeah, we saw how that monster review the what was it?
Um,
You know which one I mean? the one that got canceled after episode
interspecies
1.
reviewer.
Yeah, we saw how that how that worked out.
I mean, the one that people talking about now is crap. What's it called? Oh shit! Oh, it's gonna bug me. Oh, redo of a healer. That's what it is. That one is.
Did I ever watch that one?
It is not on Crunchyroll, by the way.
Is it on High Dive?
Is it on High Dive? I can tell you another site that it's on. Yeah, it is. It is on High Dive, and I can guarantee you, it is censored.
Yeah, High Dive seems like they would have everything. Yeah.
And I can tell you where to get it not censored. And it rhymes with Corn Pub.
Oh. Okay. I think once it's fully done, I'm gonna have to break down and pick up Netflix for it and others, but Delicious and Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's other stuff I want to watch on Netflix as well, but like I think once that's fully done, that's gonna be the breaking point, you know. Just because that one looks so good. I've heard good things about that one, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's like they made it just for me. I love these cooking animes that are coming out.
Dungeons, Dragons, and Delicious Monster Stew. I mean, that's your 3 things right there.
Right?
And it's rated TVMA for nudity and violence.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't either, so I just saw it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Ooh, there's some animes that just wrapped up. Undead Unluck. That's one that I have on my list. But there's a lot that are just that are in the halfway point. Yeah. A lot of season 2s. It looks like this season of anime.
Some. I'm really waiting for next season though.
Oh, what's next season?
Reincarnated Slime season 3.
Oh, nice. Oh, I don't need to look at. Is the season 3 One Punch Man season 3? Did that get in? Like, was there news about that? I saw something, but it wasn't from a site necessarily that like I think is too credible. I meant to look that up. Punch Man. Just something Google was. Yeah, okay, yeah. One Punch Man season 3 trailer
I
confirms staff return or JC staff.
I don't
return?
know
I
if
don't know.
like it's I see it's on YouTube, but I don't know if it's real.
This is a Crunchyroll
Oh,
like
it's on Crunchyroll. Okay,
article
the one
that
I'm seeing
says,
is Anime Select.
yeah, there's a Crunchyroll article that's saying like One Punch Man season 3 anime teaser trailer confirms JC staff return. I don't know what JC staff is. Is that a person, or is that like the studio? But like JC is the studio initials. I'm not too familiar with like the actual studio stuff
I'm not
of
either.
animes,
It's a studio.
but okay.
Oh, they did Food Wars,
Ooh,
Certain Magical Index.
ooh.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Okay, yeah, I love that one.
And One Punch Man season 2 and 3.
Might be one of my favorite studios, and I didn't even know it. There's a spin-off series to Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, I think. And another that I think there's two actually. I think there's a new just came out not too long ago, I think. Been meaning to check that out. Man, it's about time though. One Punch Man season 3, like how long ago was season 2?
It was a while ago.
And the fact that it's not like it wasn't popular, it was extremely popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Alrighty, I'm gonna go. I know you're probably wanting to go get something to eat as
I'm
well.
hungry.
So I will talk to you
Almost
later.
11 o'clock. So yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Later.
See you. And thank you all for watching.